Kuzampla and very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Chiku. Our top stories this week. Non-stop rain, cross-border issues and poor cooperation from public associated with record number of dengue cases this year. Department of Revenue and Customs focusing on improving tax compliance and digitalizing tax collection system this year. NRCAC decides not to suspend the Employment and Human Resources DG of the Labour Ministry. Now the stories in details. Continuous rainfall, cross-border issues and poor cooperation from public are some of the problems for the unexpectedly record number of dengue outbreak this year. Since 1st July, over 7,600 cases were suspected for dengue fever. It is spread by the bite of mosquito called tiger mosquito.
More than 1,900 cases were tested with dengue positive from 18 districts. Phinseling alone recorded over 1,500 cases. The health minister said, besides many free services from the ministry, many people failed to use mosquito repellents and impregnated mosquito nets.
We realized that, almost 88% of our people who got dengue, most of them wear like shorts and half-sleeve shirts. They are out in the public. So majority of them were not even wearing proper attires. Then we have about 56 whose households were had all these problems with water, stagnation of water. 53% of these people didn't use mosquito nets.
Bhutan recorded only one dengue death in 2003. This year, 4 patients succumbed to dengue death.
So we have to confirm this is the first attack of dengue. So second attack, we have to be more alert because their blood platelet will go down and that can kill the person. So in our health facilities, we can transfuse the platelets and save the person. So that's why it is important for people to come to health facilities.
The ministry plans to strengthen and collaborate with relevant stakeholders in dengue endemic regions to curb the dengue outbreaks in the coming years.
The source reduction has become very important plan in our agenda. So we will be developing an operational plan for source reduction for the cause of the dengue. And capacity building is another one because we have been always trying for other diseases, especially with the malaria. But dengue has been given less importance up to now, but then now we are going to build a capacity. We don't have the effective early warning system for the dengue so far. We will be coming up with an early warning system.
Wherever there is unplanned, uncontrolled urbanization, you should be worried about dengue because there will be water shortage and people will collect water in their house. And so solid waste disposal is another important thing that the Dzongkhaks, Thomdes and local governments have to address. If they don't take actions next year, before the rainy season, if another dengue 4 comes in, we will see thousands of people suffering from dengue hemorrhagic fever.
Meanwhile, the ministry reported that the dengue suspect cases have been decreasing across the country. The ministry will conduct a cross-border meeting in Gyelephu from Monday. For Pema Sewang, Sonam Pem for BBS News.
The Cabinet approved accelerating mother and child health program as a national policy earlier this week. The program is an investment for healthy and economically productive future generation. It will be rolled out next year.
The Mother and Child Health Program is the new program the Health Ministry will implement as a routine activity each year. It will facilitate mothers who are not entitled to 6 months paid maternity leave to benefit from the government's health services. The health workers will identify the target beneficiaries during the registration of pregnancies in the hospitals. They would be paid the national minimum wage of 125 Newton a day.
Tuesday, Nalu, we approved a policy called Accelerating Mother and Child Health. And this stemming from the belief that if we miss the boat of investing on the future generation, then we miss the boat of really developing human capital now. So Anibudalu Ngachegi Accelerating Mother and Child Program basically will require you to take care of a mother from the day of conception, from the first booking till the child is 2 years old.
Through Accelerating Mother and Child Health Program, the Health Ministry expects to improve the institutional delivery, immunization coverage and breastfeeding significantly. Today, as Health Minister Dechinwomo pointed, the antenatal care visit is still poor, and half the pregnant women do not come to register their pregnancies until after the first trimester, resulting in missing out some critical services. The Health Ministry's administrative data also indicates high proportion of mothers not completing the crucial postnatal care services.
Immunization hanging around 94-95%. In the last 10 years, PNC visit is equally poor. Micronutrient deficiency very high among adolescents, among young women, so which means micronutrient deficiency at source, at the time of conception, was not good. Disability. Most of our disabilities are identified later, when the kid is 5 years, 6 years old. By then, a lot of intervention. You have missed the boat of intervening early.
The program will cost the government 241 million Newton annually. Sunampem for BBS News.
All the three former lecturers of the College of Language and Culture Studies in Trongsa, prosecuted for alleged sexual harassment, denied all the charges against them. They submitted their rebuttal statements to Trongsa Court on Thursday. One of the defendants said there should be concrete evidence such as eyewitnesses or evidence in the form of documents or visuals.
One of the defendants charged with the offence of sexual harassment on different occasions said the allegation is not true. The other defendant, charged with unwelcome acts of sexual nature through pinching, touching the body under emotional and mental distress, and forcefully kissing the girls, also denied the allegations. Similarly, the third defendant, alleged for touching the girls inappropriately at college football ground, said it is impossible for him to do so in the crowd. The next hearing will be on 30th of this month. The case came into limelight after 19 girls lodged a complaint to the college management requesting immediate investigation in May this year, following which management compulsorily retired 9 lecturers and a supporting staff as an administrative action. Office of the Attorney General returned the case to Trongsa Court after the charges of the 3 accused were graded as petty misdemeanor. Pasa, BBS News, Trongsa.
The Department of Revenue and Customs is focusing on improving tax compliance and digitalizing the tax collection system among its other targets this year. And this was shared at the review of their annual performance agreement recently.
DRC has identified 3 objectives for the present financial year, which are to strengthen resource mobilization, improve tax compliance, and provide effective and efficient direction and operational services.
We are focusing mainly on how to improve, bring in improvement in the compliance. So through the automations in the sense of developing digitizations of the systems, tax collection systems. And the number 2 is we are trying to increase the tax assessment coverage as a whole.
The department is currently developing a system to ensure that tax payments are made easier for taxpayers, while also making sure that taxes are collected efficiently by instituting a check and balance in the system.
We are thinking of taking up this This, where we could get the information from their GIS systems as to how many how many occupancy certificates they have issued, and then from there we are trying to get the correct information. So this year we are trying to strategize how to improve this coverage of assessment by way of pulling the manpower from other regions and then topping up to those regions where there are a large number of taxpayers.
DRC is hoping to introduce this new system in the Bhutan This first and then slowly into the other districts. Choni Dama for BBS News.
Pandan Cement Authority Limited's annual profits have been on the decline since 2015. Records maintained with the Royal Monetary Authority shows Sales have dipped from 2.6 billion yutum in 2015 to 1.6 billion last year. An increase in overhead expenses and decrease in production have led to the decline in profits.
The company's sales record maintained by the Royal Monetary Authority shows a rapid decline in the past 4 years. In just a year's span between 2015 and 16, sales slumped by 868 million yutum. Pendant Cement hasn't recovered since then, and profits have been severely affected. Between 2017 and 18, the company's profit dipped by almost 40 million yutum. Sales record for the first quarter of 2019 does not show any promising signs. Production decreased over the years, but other expenditures have been on the rise. Between year-ends of 2017 and 2018, raw material consumption increased by 20 million yutum. Purchase of clinker, one of the main ingredients in cement production, rose by 40 million yutum. Coal consumption increased by close to 5 million yutum, and employee cost and depreciation of machineries cost 23 million yutum combined. However, increased expenditure hasn't translated to increased profits. The PCAL management is attributing some of the decreased production to its aged machineries and plants. Rumors are that the company's limestone mining site is fast running out of stock. However, the company said the current mine will last for at least 7 more years. A new site has also been identified in consultation with the Department of Geology and Mines, which will be operational within 3 years' time. Pendant Cement Authority Limited is a DHI-linked company with 40.3% in shareholding. As of December last year, PCAL's net worth was over 1.5 billion yutum. Sharaf Doji, BBS News, Samtsi.
Dagana District Administration is skeptical about taking over the Gyeoksena Road from the Department of Roads as ordered by the Cabinet. During the recent Dzongkok Togdu, the local government officials highlighted that the district does not have enough engineers for the task. As per the directive issued in May, the LG would be responsible for the construction, maintenance and operation of GC roads.
The district administration currently has 10 engineers looking after 14 gyeoks, a municipal and a dungkak. And in this fiscal year, each of these local governments has a minimum of 10 developmental activities planned. The local government official said, without additional engineers, adding the GC roads responsibility onto those existing would pose a hindrance in timely service delivery. Due to the shortage of manpower, today an engineer has to look after 3 gyeoks in the district.
Farm road construction, irrigation channel road, TV construction.
We are already bogged down with many engineering-related works such as construction of farm roads, irrigation channels and others. And now we have to take over the GC roads as well. With the present manpower, it would be difficult to deliver as expected. We have requested the Works and Human Settlement Ministry for additional 4 to 5 engineers within this month or the next. If not, we might have to cut down few of our capital works.
If we do not get additional engineers by the end of September, we will not be able to complete the targeted works on time. As of now, we have only 7 engineers in the field. So we will complete the works that is possible by the 7 of them. People forget to appreciate when things go right, but if it is otherwise, they blame the engineers and report it through the media. This time, if we do not get additional engineers by 30th September, we will be able to complete only those works that our existing engineers can.
At the moment, we share an engineer among 4 or 5 gyeoks. This is not convenient. There is a chance of misunderstanding arising within the corps, as all of us will rush to complete the planned works on time.
Besides engineers, local leaders said the gyeok administrations are also in short of other human resources such as accountants. The Dongkak Thokdu decided to write to the Works and Human Settlement Ministry for immediate deployment of engineers. The House will also write to the Department of Local Government and National Assembly regarding the shortage, since the Local Government Act mandates deployment of engineers and accountants in every gyok. This is Namgye Wangchuk for BBS News, Dagana.
The Royal Civil Service Commission decided not to suspend the Director General of the Department of Employment and Human Resources of the Labour Ministry. The decision came after the 15th Commission meeting held on 3rd September. The RCC said the decision is based on the Bhutan Civil Service Rules and Regulations and the Supreme Court's order issued on 17th July 2013.
The Section 19.10.1 of the BCSR 2018 states that suspension shall be discretionary and not mandatory in its application. The Section 19.10.5 of the Rules and Regulations also states that once the charges are filed, public interest should be the guiding factor in deciding to place a civil servant under a suspension. The RCSC will now wait for the District Court's verdict before taking any action against the DG. Meanwhile, this has kept on hold the Labour Ministry from taking any administrative action against its program officer involved in the overseas employment program in Japan. The ACC on 26th of last month sent a letter to the RCSC asking to suspend the DG 3 days after the Office of Attorney General forwarded the case concerned to Thimphu District Court. The OAG charged the DG in connection to the Labour Ministry's overseas employment program cases of India and Japan. The ACC's letter was as per the Section 167 of the Anti-Corruption Act of Bhutan 2011, which states that a public servant who is charged with an offence under the Act shall be suspended with effect from the date of the charge till pending the outcome of any appeals. The RCSC, however, decided to go in line with one of the recommendations mentioned in the ACC's letter, which stated that if the decision is not to suspend the DG, the RCSC should ensure that the official does not use public resources, including office time, to appear before the court. For Pema Samten Dolker, BBS News.
They once had their own lands to cultivate and also proper houses to live in. But they had to abandon these benefits and resettle elsewhere. The rampant wild elephant attacks on their crops and structures started to turn more aggressive and scary every year. Casualties of the human-wildlife conflict. This is the story of 6 households of Punsutang Geok in Samrujonkar.
Rup Bahadur left his village Chumetang some 16 years ago. Despite owning 2.5 acres of paddy fields back home, today at Kametang he is a tenant farmer. Even the land on which his hut is built belongs to someone else.
I left my village and the fields due to frequent elephant attacks. At the moment, I am growing paddy on others' fields on a crop-sharing basis.
Rup Bahadur adds that amidst the hardship in a new place, there is a consolation. He is rest assured of the safety of his family members. But as a father, the lingering issue of what he would be able to hand down to his 2 sons and a daughter always bothers him.
I have to work so hard. At the end, the landowner takes 50% of whatever I produce. I do not have any other option since my own land is not safe to cultivate.
Like Rup Bahadur, his fellow villager Dikuri Maya Rai also settled in Kametang around the same time and for the same reasons. The other 4 affected households are said to have left the district.
About 20 to 30 wild elephants would come in herds and damage all our crops and even houses. My house also got damaged. So due to the fear of elephants, we left our village.
Although it has been long, if the human-wildlife situation is addressed, both Rup Bahadur and Dikuri still want to return to their village and cultivate on their own lands.
If we get solar fencing and a few others resettle, we will be able to go back to our village and work. I still wish to work on my own fields, but at the moment, with no neighbors and solar fencing, it is risky to live there.
I will return to my village if we get an electric fencing. I'll be more than happy to do so. Working on others' lands is not easy as I have children to feed.
The Phuntshothang Gyok administration is ready to provide solar electric fencing for Chumethang, but the villagers will first have to start cultivating on the 25-acre land they have left fallow.
The Gyok administration is ready to support them if they settle there and cultivate their lands. We will provide the fencing and even maintain the damaged irrigation channel.
Rup Bahadur and Dikuri Maya are weighing the results of moving back to Chumethang without an electric fencing in place. More influenced by their past experiences, they are not willing to take any risk, at least for now. For Kiloanchu in Samdu Jonkar, this is Pasang Doji for BBS News.
People of Ura say the stakeholders involved in the annual Ura Mushroom Festival need to do more to make the festival a sustainable one. This year, the Ura Gyok administration solely financed the festival as well as took care of the logistics and management of the celebration. The festival is in its 8th edition and people worry it might become increasingly unpopular in the future.
This year, the Mushroom Festival in Ura saw fewer visitors and tourists. People say this could be due to poor yield of Matsutake mushroom in the valley this season, and also because the festival had to be withheld last year due to the parliamentary elections.
Last year, after we made all the announcements, we had to cancel the festival in the end as it coincided with the parliamentary elections. This could be why we received lesser tourists this year.
The harvest was not good this year as compared to the previous seasons. This could be because of unfavorable weather and scanty rainfall during the mushroom season.
Moreover, people are worried about the sustainability of the festival. There was no seed money kept for the festival when it was initially founded about a decade ago. The Phumsingla National Park, which is based in Ura, supported the festival for several years, but the park has started withdrawing financial support from this season.
As the Mushroom Festival not only benefits Ura Gyok and Bumthang Zongkhak, but because it has a national significance, we are hoping the Tourism Council would take extra initiative for the festival and intensify their support in terms of finances and marketing so that we can equally stay motivated.
If the government could grant some budget for the festival and if the sustainability of the festival is assured, the festival would benefit us in so many ways. Firstly, the arrival of tourists will help generate some income for the country. And secondly, people get to readily buy lots of goods from the stalls here, and moreover, the festival serves as a marketplace for the farmers who can't sell their mushrooms elsewhere.
The Tourism Council of Bhutan's Director General, Dorji Tradul, said the council funded the festival with budget ranging from 3 to 500,000 yutum for initial 3 to 4 years. He also said that due to a new regulation issued by the Department of Budget last year, such festivals had to be budgeted by the Gyok offices themselves. He added that despite the new budgetary regulation, the TCV informed the organizers to submit the bills for the expenditure this year so the TCB can bear the expenses. He also said that the office is aware of the fewer number of tourist arrival at the festival and that it is working towards marketing and promoting festivals across the country through social media, tour operators, international media, and international conferences. Besides the sustainability of the festival,
Outsiders encroaching and collecting matsutake and other mushrooms from Ura is also another challenge for the people here. The Mushroom Festival is one of the main tourist attractions of Ura Gyeok. However, besides some mask dances and other cultural performances, there are not much of mushroom-related events at the festival. Therefore, people say the festival needs to be diversified and make it mushroom-oriented so that the theme of the festival is justified. Today, there are more stalls selling clothes and toys than there are mushrooms at the festival. Kipchu, BBS News, Bhutan.
And that is it for this edition of our weekly news magazine program. I'm Cheku signing off only for now.